Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn about attributes in C Sharp. First we need to understand what are the attributes and why do we need it. Attribute is nothing but a piece of information. This information can be attached to your method, class, namespace, assembly. Attributes are the part of your code. This makes developer life easier as he can see this information right on front in the code while he is calling the method or accessing the class and takes accordingly. Let's see with a practical. If I am going to create one class, just like a public class employee. In the employee, there is one method that is a public void add employee. In the employee, there is a two information is there, first name and the last name. Okay, there is a two method. There is a one method with two parameter. That is the first one is a first name and another one is the last name. If that client codes is that your main method, that is I'm going to create that object. If client code is going to call this particular method, okay, like this, that obj employee dot add employee. So he is passing something like a tick, and the second last name is that tuition. Okay, right. Everything is okay. But now if it's I've created one more method, just like if I want to say that new client don't want to use that particular method, this particular method that add employee, I'm going to create one more method that is add employee, but I am going to pass that particular address. So I want to tell that if that client want to use that particular method, so I want to tell that client don't use this method, use this method. So that type of problem will solve by your attributes. So how we can solve this one? So we can use that one attribute that is a obsolete. So we can write like a obsolete. Okay. So means once you write that obsolete, so you can see that it's giving the warning. So it means it's trying to say that okay, this one you are not you cannot use this particular method. So if I am going to use, because if I make that attributes for this particular method, means like if I want to say that okay, use this method. So okay, so if I will use that another method that is void employee, I'm going to write like a take that particular first name, and this one is that last name, and that address is like a Bangalore. I'm going to write like this. So now you can see that this one is not giving any warning, because I'm trying to tell to the client, because only the attributes it's saying that one okay, use this methods. If I will write like in that absolute also, there is a one parameter is that error. Okay, so I'm going to tell that way don't use this one is not need to remove this one, use the method that this one. If I'm going to say that this one, so once the client is going to use this particular method, like build the solution, okay, build is completed. If I'm going to use this, I'm going to comment this one first. So if I'm trying to use that particular first method, that add employee, this particular, see it's giving that one, use the method add employee, that is string. So it's telling that one, that particular, because of that attributes is telling to that client ki don't use this method. It's saying that for that message also, it's saying that use the method add employee is first name, last name and address one. Okay, so it's marking that one, that is cancel this one. So if I'm going to, if I'm still I will use, then it will not give any problem. If you want to use, then it's not give, that's only you will get that warning. But if I want to force that one, that particular client, don't use that method. So how we'll do that one? There is one more, that is a true. If I will do this one, so you are getting that, you will get that error message. See, you are getting that one error. Got it? But here in the second overload method, you are not getting any problem. You are not facing any problem. But if I will, by default, it's a false. If it's a false, that means you can use it, but you will get that warning only. But if I want to force that one, don't use this particular method. In the future, I'm not going to use this one. So I will make it as a, the second parameter, make it as a true. Correct? So now if I will try to use this method, this overload method, so you will get that error message. Now you are getting that error message. Okay, till now it's okay. Now, how can we create the custom attributes? I'm going to comment, I'm going to delete this one. Now I'm going to create that custom attributes. So how will create? Here I'm going to write, create one class that is a public class, that is a helper attribute. Okay, so I'm going to inherit, that is a attribute. Okay, okay, this one is the class. I'm inheriting that one attributes. I'm going to write one properties, that is a your helper text. Okay, so this one I have created this one is that one custom attributes. Okay, now I'm going to create one class, that is employee class. Okay, I'm going to create one properties. This one is that first name, and I'm going to create one method, public void the add. Okay, this particular method. Okay, now I'm going to use this particular helper attribute. So you can see that if I will use like this also, there is no problem. But if I will write like this helper only, then also it's not a problem. In that string, the once I'm going to use the parameter, see, you can hear there is a one helper text, that is a one string. So here I will tell that one employee is the class. Okay, this I am telling that one, that particular attributes I mentioned that one. This is the data, employee is the class. Same one I'm going to copy for here, that I want to tell that first name is the property, and another one I'm going to copy and paste it here. Then I'm going to write like that, add is a method. Okay, so means is that particular is extra information like a metadata data, that particular, and about that is the data of that employee. So if I'm going to create that object of a employee, like employee obj employee dot object employee. Okay, so you can create that object. But if you want to restrict a custom attributes, you can restrict also. This one I have created that this one is a custom attribute, but if I want that particular attribute, that is this helper attributes, I want to only allow only in this particular class, or maybe that in properties, or only in method. So how will do that? First I'm going to do with the attribute uses, attribute uses. So I'm going to like attribute all. Attribute, if I mention like that attribute all, that means it will allow for everyone, just like a class, if a properties, method, that all. If I will mention like, see, if I'm going to write like a attribute that properties, so then if you class, it will give that error, and that, see, in the method also you are getting that, you will get that error. Okay, if I'll mention that for this one only for class, okay, so that time also the class that you can see error gone, but in that properties and that your method you are getting that error. Now I'm going to make as a all, so it will allow for all. One more question will come: do attribute get inherited? Yes, they get inherited in the child class, but you can prevent this one. So how you can prevent? Just like you have to like inherited, make it false. Now that child class cannot inherit that particular custom attributes. If you will not write like that, by default you can, that child class can inherit. Now the child class can inherit this helper attributes. If we are going to write like that, inherited equal to false, then no child class can inherit this particular helper attributes. I hope it's a clear. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. Thank you.